Alright, so as expected of Kuro Games, goated company that they are, they responded to the backlash from the anniversary, which is really really good. I'm sorry for like any background noise. It's really early and they're doing like maintenance, lawn mowing outside or whatever. So if you hear that, I do apologize. But yeah, so let's get into it. So this is on their official Twitter. They've posted on other platforms, but Twitter was the easiest to find. So, regarding the version 2.3 preview special broadcast, to our dear rovers, after Wuthering Waves 2.3 preview special broadcast, we received plenty of suggestions, thoughts, and criticisms from you. We've been paying close attention to all feedback, and we'd like to take this opportunity to address your concerns and sincerely apologize for the disappointment. This is typical of them. People give feedback. They'll take into account. Now, obviously, it's gonna take some time. I wasn't expecting it to be an immediate response, but this is pretty quick. But they have to sift through like all the stupid complaints, like no free 5-star, why no free Zani, blah blah blah. So they're gonna sift through it, and this is their response so far. I don't think they're done because there are a lot of players who are upset. Anyways, so our roadmap for recent versions of Wuthering Waves allocated development resources to an anniversary experience in version 2.3 that is both relaxing and entertaining. However, this allocation did not meet our rovers' expectations for an anniversary celebration. At the same time, we fell short in how the broadcast was structured, scripted, and presented, leading to a poor viewing experience. We at the dev team have identified and acknowledged certain shortcomings in our content management, preparation, and delivery. What happened has shown us even more clearly that Wuthering Waves' accomplishments over the past year would not have been possible without our rovers, especially rovers who have been on this journey from the very start. We want you to know that we're planning future versions with you in mind, so please stay tuned for more updates. Again, we deeply apologize for failing to meet the expectations of our longtime rovers. We recognize that there is still much room for improvement in how we operate and support the game long term. We're committed to growing and refining every aspect of Wuthering Waves to express our gratitude and sincerest apologies. We'll be launching a login event this weekend where the following content will be available to unlock and claim. The opening time will be given in a later official announcement. Login event content: 10 Radiant Tide, 10 Forging Tide, 10 Leisure. So 10 premium pulls, 10 standard pulls, and then 10 premium pulls, 10 weapon banner pulls, and then 10 standard pulls. Thank you again for your support and belief in Wuthering Waves dev team. So, and then there's like a post like saying something else, but yeah, so this is them, addressing their mistake and apologizing, which is typical of Kuro, and they, once again, they're proving what a W company they are. Now, I don't want people to like confuse this. This is just like their rewards as an apology for the disappointment and like I guess the disappointment and like negative feedback. I think a lot of people were still being a little bit unreasonable, but overall I think it was, like I said, in my other video, I think the anniversary events are fine. They look fun, they look cute. It's just the like 12 banners with the 30 pulls that was the main issue. That just felt like a slap in the face. And I give suggestions on how I think they could fix it. What I do like though is that they kind of acknowledged that veteran players were not like really paid attention to in this recent anniversary. It was more catered to newer and returning players, which is fair. It's a fair criticism to have, that the people who support the game, but they're more focused on new players and returning players, getting people back, which in the long term is not a bad thing. You do, as a company and a game, you should want to increase your community size, but still you do need to acknowledge the players that kept your game up and running, supported it throughout. And the fact that they acknowledged it, that's a good thing. That's a W from Kuro again. I I don't know for sure that they will, but I'm hoping that they will at least on top of this. Um, because this is supposed to be just like apology rewards, kind of like how the standard banner selector was apology for a bad launch, and like all the pulls and stuff. So yeah, I think this is just an apology. I think they should do something else for the anniversary itself, but this is a good start. This is typical of Kuro, and I'm pretty okay with this so far. And so over on the so I found this on Facebook. I don't know if it's on like other stuff, but it's on Facebook. They're talking about how the Japanese community is calling the CN and global community a bunch of beggars because of how, the backlash for the anniversary. Now, I guess okay, so translations from like someone screenshot of Twitter and translates. So I don't think there's any need to apologize. I've seen a lot of criticism, but for a self-centered way of thinking, it's actually criticism. Support you. Reprint the gotcha game. Okay, so it's a lot of Japanese people like saying Kuro did nothing wrong. Blah 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 blah. So my personal stance on this, from what I've seen, at least from the many gacha games that I have played, this is typical of the Japanese community for gacha gaming. They tend to kind of take whatever is given to them. They support a lot of bad gacha games just because, and they kind of take whatever is given to them. They don't really push back, and when something mediocre or lackluster is given to them, they accept it for what it is. They don't understand when a company is taking advantage of them. Now, I'm not saying Kuro's taking advantage of them or us as players. Kuro's actually done a very good job of not doing that. But this type of mindset, if we settle, this is what leads to like the way Hoyo treats their players. And we as the Weathering Waves community, we don't want Kuro to become like this. Now, I'm not saying that, we should be demanding, free limited 5-star, free Zani, free Chacona, 10,000 pulls, stock share in the company. That's ridiculous. But, when something doesn't meet the expectations, especially when the company set a standard for how they're going to treat the players, it's important for us as the community to to remind them of that. So this type of mindset, I think, is not very good. It is their own thing, but when two major communities, especially the one that Kuro actually listens to, the Chinese community, push back against it, then this kind of mindset is really bad. And the fact that the Japanese players are calling people beggars for this, it really shows and cements it. Now, I know in Japanese culture, they're taught, it's in their culture, it's ingrained to kind of be like that, where they take they accept things as they are. They don't really push back and stuff. So I understand where they're coming from, but they do need to understand that that's not a good mindset when dealing with a global industry. It's the reason why gacha games take what they can, and why they lose players, and why some games EOS. It's not the main reason. Sometimes games are just bad and players leave, but that type of mindset is wrong, and you really should when you should recognize and accept, or you should recognize and accept when things are not good. People will speak out against it. Now, I do agree that a lot of the players are being really greedy with this, and I hope Kuro doesn't really pay too much attention. But for people with reasonable things, like the Chinese community, their biggest complaint is that the anniversary really catered to newer players and not the veteran players, which is a valid complaint. And Kuro acknowledges that, as we talked about earlier, so that's a good thing. As far as the mediocre rewards, yeah, they weren't that great. It's 37 pulls, but there's 12 character banners, and you still lose the 50-50. again, I talked about like how they can improve that in a previous video, but I really am glad to see Kuro is acknowledging this, and they're working to fix it as they usually do. W Company, it's one of the reasons why I still like support them, and I've even thought about like reopening my Punishing Gray Raven account just because of how good this company is. But yeah, I think that like this type of mindset, while I understand where it's coming from based off their culture and stuff, I think it's the wrong mindset to have. I think that people getting upset when an anniversary doesn't feel like an anniversary is valid. I think that this is something that it's not going to change, but it's not something that should be like, it shouldn't be commonplace. They of all people, especially since they're like the number one supporter of gacha games, the Japanese community goes crazy for gacha games. They drop a ton of money. It's insane. They're like the reason servers are up for many gacha games. So they should have a voice, but I don't think this is the right voice. I think that they should, when something is bad, speak up about it. But this is their side of the community, and like I got into like a discussion with a player from Japan who called me a beggar and a piece of shit, and I was like, well, speaking like objectively, if you since I'm a beggar and you're not, then I think you should stand on your principles. And when we get the rewards, since this is a beggar reward and you're not a beggar, I think you should not claim it then. Just don't accept it, don't claim it, stick to your principles. Because it would be pretty hypocritical to call someone a beggar but then accept the rewards that the quote-unquote begging got us. But anyways, that's just my thoughts. Let me know how you guys feel. I personally think it's a dub from Kuro to acknowledge it. I really do hope that they, in the end, will do something more for the anniversary. I'm not expecting much, but something nice, like the banner change I talked about, or even I mean, it would be cool if we got the 5-star selector, but that's pushing it. I wouldn't expect it at this point. I think we should keep our expectations real. And even if like this apology is all that we get, I'm personally okay with it. I would like more, but I'm sorry, I'm a beggar. But yeah, I think it's, 47 pulls versus 37, and then another 10 for the weapon. That seems a little bit better, especially it's gonna, like I was saying, we should at least be able to get one of the characters of the like 12 banners. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys on the next.
Don't forget to subscribe.